Where you find gossip is also the same place where you find a lot of unhealthy individuals. A malicious intent to gossip about someone's life and to gossip, as my mom would say, with a black heart. That practice, because these individuals, they practice this every single day. That practice has a knock on effect physically and mentally in those individuals' lives. As someone who's been on this planet for 3 tens, been here for a good 30 years and a little bit, I've just noticed the different environments where malicious gossiping takes place. It's never alone. It's always in a pack. And I always find that there will be judgment towards like gangsterism, but that same energy of gangsterism you find in social constructs in three environments. One, the workplace. It goes without saying. That is very vicious because it's done in a gang, in a group. And just like there's an initiation in a typical gang, you must kind of prove yourself with these people at work. If you don't say something malicious, if you don't practice in the art, if you don't get a kick out of speaking so ill about innocent people who don't know this is being done behind their back, if you don't do this repetitively with the gang and laugh and, entertain that energy, they become very weird around you. You become odd. You become the odd one out, and slowly you realize they close up. But as soon as you partake in the devil's tongue, gossiping, malicious gossiping, then it's laughter, then it's come over to my, we're going to have a get together, we're going to go out, are you coming with? They'll make you feel amazing. Just like people in a gang from an impoverished area. It's the same thing. Every person I've noticed in the different work environments I used to be in, they are mentally sick, especially where the relationships are concerned. With women, there's an over dependence in terms of like they'll have a strong relationship with the child to make up for a poor relationship with a husband or a poor relationship with family. So the child will be everything to them because the relationship is nothing to them. But they'll stay there just because we have to keep up with the Joneses. That's when you know that this practice of the devil's tongue has captured this vulture and this hyena, and it has emptied out their soul, it has emptied out their heart, and now, like I said, everything is just pertaining to the child, and they'll be very attached to the child, however many of them there are, but the husband, the relationship in isolation, poor. Like blatantly poor. When they invite this loved ones to family functions or work functions, you can feel the awkwardness. That gossip nature is gone suddenly because their weakness is now being advertised and no one says anything about that. That's the workplace. As a child, again, I just observed stuff very innocently. I saw gossiping, the devil's tongue, in church. In church, I heard the devil's tongue being spoken. And I also, because of this experience, realized it's not a church thing it's just the Christian people. I saw this with people who were Muslim. I saw this practice with people who were Hindu. I saw this with Buddhists. And I just realized this is a human thing. It doesn't matter what mask they they put on, whether they want to go to a church, a mosque, a temple. The devil's tongue is the devil's tongue is the devil's tongue. And where you see that clique, that gang, just like in the workplace, it's the same thing. Doesn't matter what word was shared, doesn't matter how glory, glory, hallelujah, they just celebrated, or whatever prayer they said. Literally as a kid, I was surrounded by different churches, different temples, different religious beliefs, and I saw the same tradition where people maliciously spoke about other people, innocent people, behind their back, and they got a joy out of it in a gang. If there was one person who didn't say anything and kept quiet, that person was treated weirdly. That person was shunned. Now, I do believe, again, it's a test. So everyone will speak and come across the devil's tongue, like, having alcohol and having some form of drug or doing something, that's a vice or naughty, whatever the case may be. Everyone in their lives are going to be invited to speak the devil's tongue. But I do believe that there are individuals, especially empathic individuals, sensitive individuals, who get very uncomfortable over time as they grow and become and learn to become very sensitive in their energy. Forget emotions, energy. Something will unsettle you about practicing this. You also start taking note that, as I said before, there is a health concern that is attached and deteriorates within these individuals. I even saw it in comedy. I used to be in the comedy industry. Grown men with children. Devil's tongue. That time, you never spend time talking about them. Their energy, their careers is not on your mind. But through the grapevine, you find out this was being said about you. This one said that about you. But then you look at their health, genuinely. You look at their well-being. Forget what they said. He who participates in the devil's tongue, physically, there's health concerns. I know so many who have heart issues, they in and out of hospitals, whether it's in church, whether it's the people who are in the entertainment industry. It happens quite rife in the entertainment industry. It's actually shocking. There's a lot of actors really know how to act, comedians and anyone in that entertainment industry, they really know how to be far from the truth, let's put it that way. But if you look at the health and the mental well-being of these individuals, it is deteriorated, because when you partake in this energy, where your energy centers are concerned, it's like hollowing you out. But you don't realize it. The one who is in it and part of that gang construct, you don't realize that it's eating you out. So you just essentially, like drinking, you keep doing it. And if you're on the outside of this practice, you observe it over a 10-year period, not 1 year, 2 year. Let 10 years go by where you observe these individuals do what they do. They stay in the same place. They do the same thing that they were doing 10 years ago, but emotionally, physically, and psychologically, they deteriorate. You can see it in their eyes, you notice it in their bodies, and they're in and out of hospital, in and out of issues, heart-related issues, mental-related issues, and where their relationships are concerned, if they are married, that relationship is as good as an empty shoe, an empty house. There's nothing going on there. But they won't leave it because we got to keep up with the Joneses. It happens in religious spaces, entertainment spaces, work spaces, and it happens in family as well, shockingly as well. And it's a bit sad because these are very intimate spaces. Your place of work, your place of faith, your place of a career, for example, creativity. These are intimate spaces. You would imagine that This is the one space where you shouldn't have such. And it shouldn't be so close and so easy to access. But it is there. And as someone who is who I am, I've just always settled in the idea that a human is going to be a human is going to be a human. And you just have to navigate and be very discerning of who partakes in the devil's tongue and who knows how to wash themselves from the devil's tongue, which is just a nice way of saying gossiping is something that will tempt all of us, like having a drink, like smoking, whatever the case may be. He who has a black heart and was groomed from young because their mothers, their fathers did it, they were surrounded by it, you kind of have to hold a certain empathy for the individual. And as long as you don't have any ill back, nothing that is said about you, especially in the group, it will never come to pass. It's as good as someone having an opinion. Just because someone has an opinion literally falls deaf on the ears of God. God is the one who has created you and your potential. So to know that the devil speaks in the group already tells you that it needs so much energy to try and defeat you, to crush you, either with people at work, or people in your family, or people at church, or in the mosque, or there in that thing you call the entertainment industry. The fact that there's a gang and they're secretive in how they perform the devil's tongue and how they practice this, just to discuss one individual with such vigor and verve, already tells you that there must be something very magical about you that you don't know about yourself. And sometimes the universe needs to give you an idea by a polarized way for you to realize there is more about you. And unconsciously, people get very threatened by that which remains very subtle in you, especially if you're not performative about your gift, you're not performative about the magic in you, and sometimes you don't know it. So they will do it, especially to innocent souls, people who literally don't do what these environments do to you behind your back. Now, there is a karma naturally. If someone practices the devil's tongue, not only are they going to deteriorate in their mental health, in their physical health, and those things happen quietly. It's funny, they're very loud in talking in that group about so-and-so and how this one is that, blah, blah, blah. But when it comes to their individual well-being, their agony, their strife, the themes that they go through, the medication they stuck on, the sleeping pills they stuck on, the drinking that they stuck on, the same place that they stuck on whilst they observe everything else over 10 years moving forward. They will observe you moving forward. There's a karma. And essentially they get invited into the space that they created for themselves, which is comfort with the devil. And that is something that, only if they turn to God will they be released. But outside of that, and the probability of them doing that is very, very rare. Blessed are they who does have the strength to release themselves from that shackle. I wish it for all those who speak ill over my life and has spoken ill over my life. I want them to be free, But as long as you don't hold that energy of resentment towards them, because I know most of you know who the people are, as long as you have the strength to even pray for your enemy and say, shame, they don't know any better. And they probably grew up in environments with their mothers and fathers and a construct where this was maybe normal to them. Be with them, Lord. And as long as you have a genuine pureness about your intention and how you feel, there is only that which is the residue of grace over your life, but in another way, you are also allowing only that which is their poison to poison themselves. That's why they will never put two and two together over a long period of time and realize they're battling with a health concern because of themselves and the practice of the devil's tongue. They're battling with a mental health concern, addiction concern, a relationship concern, an infidelity concern, a financial concern. They're battling with these things because of their own practice. Their own poison is poisoning them. But it won't click. It won't hit them that, oh shit, this is why. Because that thing takes time to kick in. Karma is something that really, it's a patience game. So once it kicks into their lives, they won't realize that, oh, this is because of what I've been saying about such and such in the church, in the mosque. And God has people who are very pure souls, man. If you touch an environment that is a pure soul who is meant to really help others, and you go speak over that energy, it's as if there is a blatant bolt of lightning that hits right back and strikes you deeper than any word you've spoken over someone's life. And more specifically, when it is done with the devil's tongue, which is a malicious discussion and a practice in a group over someone's life who has a pure innocence. They don't do what you do. They literally trying to just get through what they going through. But there's this hyenas, this vulture identity that practices and practices. So this happens at school, this happens in high school, it happens at work, it happens in church, it happens. You will notice as you go throughout your lives, these environments happen. If you're an empath, it's going to happen. If you are gifted in your energy, it's going to happen. But listen to my words, digest what I've said. You must never attack the devil, never be tempted with you wanting to be part of the devil's tongue and speak over their lives. Let it be. God is with you and the grace of God is with you. Go through your ups and your downs, but I promise you, over a 10-year period, 20-year period, there's this beautiful thing where you will be given the awareness of where those who spoke about you, where they are in their lives. They won't know you know. That's the other thing. They won't know you know that they are going through what they're going through. But that's like the grace that the universe gives you, saying, you see, there was nothing wrong with you. This was just how life is. There's mosquitoes, there's cockroaches, there's yin, there's yang. It's just part of the play that we are in. But you never take it personal. At work, you never take it personal. You never feel like, oh, I'm alienated. These people are bitter. These people are evil. Evil is part of what we must go through. It's like good bacteria and bad bacteria. Good bacteria and bad bacteria. It's needed. You need to learn about that. You need to learn that people like that exist. You can't live naive. So they have to be placed in your life in different spaces, even in the place of, faith, even in God's temple. It's important. It's not something that must be overseen and you leave it on the side and you must just live a life where you think everybody's happy-go-lucky and everyone just wants the best for you. You must learn that there's night and day. And rather you be put through your paces than be left naive. I hope these words rest upon your soul, you innocent ones. Even if you partake, and if you did partake in the devil's tongue, learn from your mistake. Release any energy that you have sent towards someone and let them be. God is with them. But you don't speak over someone's life. You don't know the story behind that person's soul and who that person is, especially in terms of God's plan. You don't want to strike a golden cage of protection. It's not wise when you're playing with the devil's tongue. It hits back and you won't know it immediately. It will take place over time.